Hi everybody, welcome back to Emerald Luxuries. Today we're going to be making this beautiful tumbler right here. It's a hybrid of a sublimation tumbler with glitter on top, and then it's got these really pretty beads on it, ribbon beads on it. So sit back, enjoy, watch how I do it, and if you want to craft along, get your supplies and let's get to making tumblers. Thank you. Hi tumbler friends. Today what we are going to be working on is kind of a hybrid. We're going to be doing a bit of sublimation on the bottom part of this, and then after it's sublimated on the top we're going to glitter it. And the reason why is because I got this, I printed this out. I got the design from Creative Fabrica and I cut it down except for I was going to put it on a small 14-ounce tumbler, but it ended up being too small for that and I didn't want to throw it away, so I decided I would get one of my 20-ounce sublimation tumblers and put it on that. And I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but this is like a sparkly sublimation tumbler, so I'm not sure if that sparkle will show through on the sublimation, but I thought I'd give it a try. First time I've ever done it on this type of tumbler, so we will see. So first thing is you want to make sure that it's going to be put upright, because I have done it upside down on tumblers before. Let me take the lid off of this. And then we're just going to put it around the bottom because we're going to glitter the top of it. And I also, it is, as you can see, just a tiny bit short right there. It doesn't really reach all the way, but that's fine because I'm going to be putting a vinyl strip where this line, where the seam is. So you want to make sure that it's nice and tight and that your lines are straight, and then you just want to tape it up with some heat tape. I get all of my supplies from Amazon, so that's where I got the heat tape from, and that's what I'll be using. But you want to pull this as tight as you possibly can, and as you can see, now that I've pulled that tight, it overlaps just a bit, and so that seam is not going to be as noticeable. It'll still be noticeable because you will be able to, it's not as seamless, so you'll see where it meets up. However, you will not see any white strips in between it. Then what I do is, sorry, just tape along that seam, get it nice and tight as well. And I never worry about whether it comes up onto the tumbler here. I've never had a problem with yellow tape lines, anything like that. So we just want to make sure so we don't have any ghosting here on the bottom with this as well, to tape this down as tight as possible. And what I'm doing, and I'll show you here in just a minute, is I'm putting half of it on the sublimation transfer and half of it on the actual tumbler. And so, whoops, as you can see, like half of it went there, half of it went on top. And then in order to further make sure that there's no ghosting, I take it and I do another strip along the bottom all the way across, all the way around, so that it looks like so. Now, also about this, some people take that off, some people leave it on. I always take it off because I do not like the look of it. It can lift when you're using, if you're using epoxy, it gets super sticky in the oven for the sublimation or in a heat press with the sublimation. So take that off and put it on. Now I also tape the top here the same way I taped the bottom there. So I take my tape and again do it half on the graphic and half on the tumbler, and pulling it as tight as I can without ripping the tape. The tape will stretch just a little bit, but that's fine. That's never a problem. And I didn't get quite enough. So just a little more to cover that area. And then again, I'm going to do the same thing that I did down here at the bottom, at the top, so that there's no ghosting. Make sure it's long enough. And tape it along that bottom edge of the tape. Nice and tight. So that's what it looks like. Now what I'm going to do, and I'll take the camera down with me, I'm going to go and put this in my heat press. So here we are down at the heat press. So what I'm going to do is turn it on and then wait for it to heat up. I have it heating up to 350, 40 for 5 to 5 seconds. And as soon as this comes up to temperature, then I can put my tumbler into the press and start pressing. Okay, it has reached temperature. It's actually gone a little above temperature, and as you can see, it did start as soon as it hit that temperature. It started its countdown, but I didn't have my tumbler in there. So now I'm waiting for it to get back down to 350. And I'm just going to put this in here. Always make sure you have gloves on. And then you close it, and it'll start counting down from 45, as you can see. Well, okay, so I found the glitter that I wanted to use for this. I couldn't really find one that matched exactly, but this is going to be close enough to what I want. It is called Pretty in Pink by Maker Flow. It has got, it's a holographic pink glitter. It's a holographic fine glitter. So I'm going to use that. Have a makeup brush to apply it with. Got my glitter glue. This is just an art glitter glue I got off of Amazon. It's from artglitter.com if you don't want to go through Amazon to get it. I've only used it once and it worked great, so I'm going to continue to use that. You can use Mod Podge if you want to. Instead, works just as well in my opinion. And now I'm just going to tape off the top of that because I don't want any of this glitter to get down onto the graphic. So just find your end here, and this is just a really thin painter's tape. So, and that's what you don't want to do. I also put this on one of my stands to make it easier to hold once I've got it all put together. I like to start at the seam, so that way I know that it's going to be completely covered. Make sure it's nice and straight along that edge. And again, along this edge, I am going to put a strip of vinyl as well to match the strip that goes down through the seam. And I'm sorry, I keep getting out of focus out of the camera here. Just put it on here as straight as possible. There you go. Easy as that. And you always want to put something down to catch your glitter so that you can reuse it, put it back in the bottle and reuse it once it's fallen down. But yeah, just open this up, put it on this, spread it out in nice even strokes. And it's pooling up for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that, but just go ahead and make sure that it's as smooth as possible so you don't get any lumps in your glitter. And then come in with your glitter. And you can start just putting it on the cup. Just let it slide down. And it looks like for some reason it's all pulling up, so I'm going to have to do 2 coats of the glitter glue and redo this, unfortunately. So just get as much as you can on there. Tap it off, tap as much off that'll come off. And as you can see, like, there's a bunch of bald spots, so I will have to redo this. I think the reason why is because this is a sublimation tumbler and it's shiny, and so that's why the glitter glue did not stick to the tumbler. But if it didn't have that shimmer on it, I would have sanded it down and that would have prevented this. But because I wanted to keep that shimmer, I did not sand it down, and so that's why it now has bald spots, and I'm going to have to redo it. Oh, jeez. I am having a day, let me tell you. Look at this. This is one of the reasons why I always put 2 glitter catchers down, because I know me, and yeah, this is the things that happen to me every time. So catcher down. And these are really usable. I just kind of shake them off onto the ground here. Try not to do that. Wait for that to dry, and then I'll be back to show you and put on the next coat. Okay, so I'm back. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened, but my camera didn't work for the second coat of this, but I need to put yet even another coat of this glitter glue and the glitter onto this tumbler. Hopefully this will be the last one. I've never had to put more than 2 coats on a tumbler before, so I'm not sure what's going on with this. But anyway, instead of drizzling the glue on the actual tumbler now, I'm going to put it into a little medicine cup and put it on, apply it that way. I did take the tape off because I didn't want to run the risk of having it pull the glitter off in chunks. So now I just have to be very careful not to get it up on the graphic too much. Like I said, I will be putting a vinyl stripe right there, so I don't have to worry too much. It's going on white, but this glitter glue does dry clear, and it does dry very quickly. So I kind of have to work a little bit fast. It actually dries a lot quicker than Mod Podge, and Mod Podge dries really quickly as well. But I really do like this glitter glue. On every other tumbler I've worked, I've only actually had to put 1 coat on, and I really think that goes down to the type of tumbler this is. I've never really tried to glitter onto a sparkly tumbler before, because you normally want to sand it down so that the glue has something to hold on to. However, I didn't do that with this one because I wanted to keep that sparkle, and if I would have sanded it down, the sparkle would have gone away. So I think that's what's going on here. And of course, it's the first one I'm filming, so you get to see all of my mistakes the first time I put it on film. So that's awesome. But just getting all this glitter glue on here now. Okay, so I think this is now going to be good. It's pretty saturated, pretty much got everywhere I want it to get glitter with this glitter glue. And hopefully this will be the last coat that I have to do with this. After this, after I'm done with putting the glitter on it, I'm going to let it sit probably overnight, because I'm not going to do anything with it until tomorrow anyway. But after that, what I will do is I will pop it on my epoxy turner, and I'm going to actually epoxy over all of this. And then we'll come back and we'll put the stripes on, and you can see how I do that and how I finish up the cup. So, but that is basically it, and this is how I do a hybrid. I've done this before to where, not with sublimation, but where I've done half vinyl and half glitter and done it that way, and it's always worked out well. I thought this would be the same, and it's not bad. It's just taking extra steps that I need. Once this dries, I will take a brush and brush all of this off here where you can see it has gotten up on the graphic. There isn't any glue there, so it's not going to stick. It's such a fine glitter that it's sticking on there for now. But tap off as much of the excess glitter as you can, and then just let it sit and let that glue dry. So I will come back when I'm ready to put the epoxy on it. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Hello everybody, I'm back the next day. I got some epoxy on this, and so now we're ready for the next steps. So what we're going to do today is we're going to prep this and get it ready, put the strips on it. I did say I was going to put vinyl on it. However, I have decided that I am actually going to be putting on this ribbon instead. I got this from the dollar store back when it was actually $1 at the dollar store, and now it's, you know, $1.25. But anyway, here nor there. I've had it for a while. I'm finally going to use it. So the first thing we're going to do, because when you put on epoxy on the first layer, sometimes you get you know, bumps and scratches. So the first thing we're going to do is sand it down, and we're going to be using a 220 grit sanding block. And I know it looks like it's going to be super dull, which it is, but that will shine right back up once we put epoxy back on it. So okay, sorry about that. My battery died. It's changed it real quick. So anyway, I don't know if you can see it or not. Maybe not. I haven't cleaned this yet, but there should be just a tiniest little rim there, and that will help the epoxy seal so you don't have a broken seal. It makes the integrity of the cup better. Anyway, so after you've already sanded it down, then you want to clean it up and make sure it gets all that sanding dust and everything off. So what I take is my 99% alcohol, rubbing alcohol, spray it on there, the whole cup, and then just wipe it down with, you can either use a paper towel, or I like these, I don't even know what they're called, but they're microfiber rags. Makes it much easier, in my opinion, to do this. So anyway, once you get that done, like I said, I know it looks dull and not nice, but that will buff right out, and it will go back to shiny once the epoxy is back on it. So now what we're going to do is, let me find my cup holder. Hold on just a second. Here we go. And we're going to apply, let me pull you in closer and show you better. Okay, so now we're going to apply the strip here. I cut 2 of them to size. This one will go along the seam here, and then this one will go along the seam this way. So instead of using Mod Podge or any of that type of glue, I am going to use, sorry about the camera, jeez. I'm going to use Liquid Fusion, and I use this for my pens when I put rhinestones on my pens, and it works really good. It dries clear, it holds really well, and then it'll make sure and have it stick. So take this off, and then I'm just going to put one thin line all the way up the seam. And then put this on there where I want it. And then I'm just going to make sure and push it down. Guess let me get into the frame. There we have it. I am going to let that dry for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to pop it on my epoxy turner and finish up the cup, and then I'll bring you back to show you the final result. Thanks. See you soon. Hello again. So after a couple of coats of epoxy, here's the final product. It's a beautiful tumbler, and I just wanted to thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.